So I have three different substances here. I have water, and I just put red food coloring in it to make it visible so it is red. Water has a mass of 100 grams and a volume of 100 milliliters. Our next one I have is corn syrup. Mass of this 100 milliliters is going to be 140 grams. And then I have some oil. Same thing, I have 100 milliliters of it, but the mass of this is 93 grams. So all three of these substances have the same volume. That is the same across the board. However, their masses are going to be different. And density requires mass and volume. It's the ratio between those two. So even if the volume is the same for all three, if the mass is different, the density should be different. So if I take the mass divided by volume for each of them, for water I get a density of 1 gram per milliliter. For corn syrup I get a density of 1.4 gram per milliliter. And for oil I get a density of 0.93 grams per milliliter. So they do have different densities, and we're going to see how we can visually see this and how it affects day-to-day stuff. So I'm going to start by pouring this 100 milliliters of water into this clear plastic cup. Keep in mind that has a density of 1 gram per milliliter. This corn syrup has a higher density, so 1.4 is bigger than the 1. So I'm going to pour this 100 milliliters of corn syrup into this water, and we'll see what happens here. You can see the corn syrup is kind of going to the bottom and that water is sitting on top, even though I poured the corn syrup in afterwards. Okay, and then my last one here has a density of 0.93. So based off of this observation, the corn syrup has a higher density than the water. The oil has the lowest density out of all three. So we should already have a slight prediction of what's going to happen when I pour this 100 milliliters of oil into this cup. So let's see what happens here. So notice as I'm pouring it, it does go all the way to the bottom at first, but look at where it's settling. The oil is settling right on top. And why is that? Because of the different densities here. The corn syrup at the bottom has the highest density, then followed by water in the middle, and then the oil, the lowest density, is sitting on top.